Welcome back to the study for another Dave's Desk. We've got to the point as we go through some of Jesus' teaching to the story of the feeding of the 5,000. I'm sure you're probably familiar with it from Sunday school type stories. Jesus is teaching, and he's teaching in the wilderness, as we've said earlier. And so the crowd have come out to see him, and they've stayed there all day, and they've not had anything to eat. And it's not like a modern Christian conference where there's bound to be some kind of food kiosk somewhere. There is no food nearby that they can just go and get, and so the crowd needs to be fed. And how are they going to solve that problem? And Jesus returns or responds to the disciples who have raised this. He said, "Well," Jesus says, "You feed them, you give them what they need." And the disciples are like, "There's no way we could afford to do that." Assuming that there was a village nearby that they could have travelled that far and gotten enough food for 5,000 people, they could never pay for it. What on earth is Jesus thinking? But they do find one boy who's got his packed lunch. The one person in the crowd whose mother had some forethought, packed him a packed lunch. He's got his 5 loaves and his 2 fish. And he's willing to offer them. It's a tiny amount, give everyone 1/1000th of a loaf and an even smaller fraction of a piece of fish. It's no point, surely, giving people a crumb of food. But it's offered in faith, and Jesus takes what's offered in faith. Jesus, who spoke creation into being, who filled the nothingness of before creation with the everythingness of creation. And he received it and he gave thanks for it, and it was enough. Because Jesus was there, it was enough. The disciples were able to distribute food to the thousands and thousands of people there, and no one went hungry that day. There was no scarcity when Jesus was giving out the food. There was always going to be enough. And I think for many of us, perhaps struggle with imagining exactly what this looked like. Were the disciples, did the food suddenly, spread out in a big sort of tower, pyramid of sandwiches and fish in front of Jesus? Was it more like a basket, and every time you took something out, it was something else suddenly appeared inside it? We don't really know. This story is told to us in Mark 6 and also in Matthew's Gospel. But in neither place does it describe the details of what happened, just that the offering of a gift is turned into the fullness that everyone needs. That this, no, I got the Bible passages wrong. It's not Mark 4, it's Mark 6. Did I say Mark 6? But whatever the physical reality of that moment, what Jesus' disciples remember is that there was enough. That although only a tiny amount was offered, it was enough to feed the multitude. And I think it's really important for us to remember that often we think that what we have to offer is tiny and never going to be enough. What we have to give is only a fraction of what's needed. Whether that's, what's the point of me giving to this charity, the little I can give won't make a difference, or it's what's the point of me telling my friend this thing that Jesus has done, it won't make any difference. Whether it's material or spiritual, the lesson is still the same. That when we give through faith, and we give in Jesus' name and for Jesus' glory, it's always going to be enough. That Jesus takes what we offer and makes it enough. Because there is no poverty in God's kingdom or in God's economy. There's always sufficiency. And so I just want to encourage you that whatever this week has been like for you, whatever you feel you can offer, to offer it in Jesus' name and know that it will be enough. That things given for him and to him are always more than we need. The disciples picked up 12 baskets of leftovers. Jesus can take whatever we give him and produce leftovers besides. I hope that's some encouragement to you today. Thank you for coming along and getting involved in whatever ways you're getting involved. I really look forward to seeing you again sometime soon. Thank you. Bye bye.